Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the tragedy in Moscow, Idaho. 4 college students brutally stabbed during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. Police have made no arrests, haven't publicly identified any suspects. They haven't even found the murder weapon, which is a knife, and they're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. The police, authorities, FBI, Idaho State Troopers. They're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra, 2011, 2013 model. These 4 victims stabbed inside a home. Who did it? Let's talk about Moscow. And I'm eating lunch, right? Today is Burger Day. And we're going to talk about the community of Moscow while I eat lunch a little bit, right? So, did you know that the stabbings occurred during the early morning hours of November 13th. Coroner Kathy Mabut, who is the coroner, who's actually a defense attorney also, she thinks the stabbings occurred between 3 and 4 a.m. Did you know? Man, this is good. That the day before, in Moscow, they had a gigantic football game. The University of Idaho, home to the Vandals. I did a video about the origins of Vandals, by the way. You need to check that out. They had a football game. And UC Davis from California came into town. Let me show you highlights of that football game. Check it out. Giovanni McCoy was 29 for 40 for a career-high 344 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 2 more. But the Vandal defense couldn't stop the UC Davis offense, and the Aggies topped Idaho 44-26 Saturday in the Kibbe Dome. So the Vandals lost to UC Davis 44-26 at the Kibbe Dome, the big giant Kibbe Dome. And I saw this Kibbe Dome. ESPN actually said it's one of the oddest college sports stadiums in the country. Holds 16,000 people. 16,000 people. Is it possible that whoever did this stabbing came from out of town and they were in the area for that football game? Did the victims attend that football game that day? We've been hearing about where the victims were that evening. That evening where, Maddie and Kaylee were at the corner club, eventually went down to the grub truck, and then went home. Ethan and Zana. Ethan was earlier that evening with his sister and her brother at some Betty's ball. And then him and Zana eventually went over to Sigma Chi and had a party over there. Still their whereabouts are unknown, time gaps in between. Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, 2 roommates, no one has published where they were that night. Reports were they came in at 1 a.m. But were they all, any of them, including the roommates, at this football game earlier in the day and had any interactions with anyone? What I'm saying is, has police looked into the football theory? Now, UC Davis, it's a 15-hour drive. I looked it up. 15 hours drive to get there. To fly, you could either go into Seattle. I flew into Seattle when I went to Moscow. Went to Seattle. It takes about a 5-hour drive from Seattle to Moscow. You go flying to Spokane. Spokane's not that far. You could go into Boise, which is a 5-hour away. Look what else I'm eating. Check this out. It's good stuff. Eat a lot of food. The football theory. Do you think whoever did this was involved or in town? Because they're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra that most likely is not in town. So it wasn't an out-of-towner that came. Maybe for the football game. Police have still not revealed any surveillance of a white Hyundai Elantra, no license plate. Stadium's big. Holds 16,000 people. I don't think it was filled to capacity during that day. But there's definitely a lot of out-of-towners. Now, has any of the out-of-towners, once the game was over, go into Moscow and interact at the clubs and the bars, like the Corner Club? Anybody from that football game out of town that went to the Corner Club, or maybe saw Kaylee and Maddie, or went to another place where they saw Dylan and Bethany. I don't know if Dylan and Bethany were together that evening, wherever they were at, or they were both separate places and managed to get home around 1 a.m. as reported. Maybe the people from the football game went to Sigma Chi's party. Friends, associates, what do you think? Studying this case to a T. No stone left unturned because the case isn't solved. So we can't just assume that this theory is bogus. Got to be open-minded. We got to be open-minded to anything at this point because police are not revealing anything. So if police, and this is a public interest case. So if police can't get mad at YouTubers or online sleuths and people speculating online when the police don't give out much information. All we do is speculate until they reveal something. You know, the family, Kaylee's family, they want answers. The police are not revealing anything. It's been, 7 days now since police have given any update about the case. So they're putting themselves in a position. I know it's an investigation. You don't want to compromise the integrity of the investigation, but release something. Otherwise, people speculate like we're doing here while I'm eating lunch. Subscribe to my channel, like, hit the notification button. I was there. I spoke to residents. I got connection contacts now in the Moscow area. I exchanged phone numbers, so I get texts whenever things are going on. A lot of you people, grateful that you send me emails, tips, information, going through it. Hopefully, whatever you're sending me, you're also sending to the police. I can understand the police getting 12,000 tips. Because I got hundreds. I got hundreds in my email from all of you out there that send me stuff. And I appreciate it. I read your emails. Thank you. Very grateful. They're probably getting tons of them. So it takes time. It takes time for me to go through those emails when you guys send me tips and information about the case. What happened in Moscow? Who did it? Who's involved? We'll talk soon. I'll be posting more videos coming up. Was it a fraternity around there, a sorority? Was it a neighbor? Was it a stalker? Was it a family member? Was it a serial K that came into town? Was it an out-of-towner who came in for a football game? God bless everybody. Stay safe. Eat well. Eat well.